Joining us is Florida Congresswoman María Salazar, who serves on House Foreign Affairs. Welcome, Congresswoman. Thank you for being with us. Marco Rubio, a fellow Floridian, he's on a mission in Latin America. What do you think his message is as he tours that region?
The message is that Latin America is back on the agenda of the American interests. I think Marco Rubio said it clearly that our backyard, which has been forgotten for the last 30 years since Ronald Reagan when he was fighting the Sandinistas, that we are going to be engaging with the Americans once again, and that's exactly what this hemisphere wants. As chairman of the Western Hemisphere subcommittee within the House Foreign Affairs Committee, I can tell you that Latin Americans adore the Americans, and they want to do business with American companies, with the American government, a lot more than with Chinese or with Russians. So it's good news for Latin America.
All right, here's the new Secretary of Defense on Gitmo, and then I'll ask you about it on the other side.
The perfect place. And I'd say that as someone who's spent a year there with a platoon guarding detainees at the detention facility. So you can get thousands of individuals in tents, secured in places at Guantanamo Bay. There's also the eventuality that we could have hardened criminals, hardened gang members with violent criminal pasts in transit. If that is the case, we're preparing options for the actual detention facilities. Guantanamo Bay is a perfect transit point to temporarily house the worst of the worst until we move them back to their home countries, who, as President Trump has made it very clear, better be prepared to take them robustly and soon.
All right, I heard worst of the worst, which to me means violent criminals. Democrats will argue Trump wants to deport school children. Who should be deported and in what order?
Oh, it's very clear. I think it's a fantastic question. We should deport the Tren de Aragua, the illegal criminals, those who have been here not picking up the tomatoes in Florida, but raping children in Colorado. Those need to go now with no due process, out, Guantanamo, wherever they need to go, specifically Tren de Aragua and the gang members. Those are the ones who should go right now, and the Hispanic community has no problems in doing that. The problem comes when we are then mixing those criminals with the people who have been here for 20 years helping our economy. That's the conversation that we as a country, we need to have at some point and find a balance and a solution to that situation that we have. And I think I have introduced a possibility of finding and striking that balance. But that conversation we're not going to have now. That will come in the near future.
All right. Panama is a stable democracy in Central America. No one that I know wants conflict with Panama. How do you see the issue of the canal playing out?
Like I said, Panama, well, we built the canal. We paid for it. 30,000 American troops or employees lost their lives in the beginning of last century of fixing or building the canal. I am sure that the Panamanians are delighted to have the Americans and to not do business with the Chinese. I'm sure that Marco Rubio is not going to have a problem in striking a new deal with the new Panamanian president, because it goes not only to Panama, it goes to the whole Central America and South America. We have been absent. And, you know, when I was a news correspondent, I covered the area for 35 years for Univision, and I can tell you clearly that Latin America wants to do business with the Americans. The problem is that in the last 35 years, since Ronald Reagan, we have forgotten our backyard. And for those who are watching us, Latin America is an American business because we can't stop fentanyl, gang violence, migrants, if we take care of our backyard. And that's what we haven't done. So right now, this is a new dawn, and it's the right agenda for the White House.
I think you're right. Marco Rubio is a very persuasive person. If anybody can talk to the Panamanians, that's who I would choose to go do it. María Salazar, thank you so much for joining us on a Sunday night. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you.